everyone, and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm your host, Henry, and I am so happy you are here today. In this episode, we are going to talk about something very important for all English learners. The topic is how to speak fluent in English. Now, maybe you have studied English for a long time. Maybe you can read. Maybe you can write. But speaking is still very difficult. Maybe when you try to speak, you stop, you pause, or you translate from your language into English. And maybe you feel shy or afraid of making mistakes. Don't worry. You are not alone. Many learners have the same problem. But here is the good news. You can speak fluent English. Fluency is not magic. It is a skill. And just like any skill, you can learn it step by step. In today's episode, I will explain what fluency really means, the common problems learners face, and the exact steps you can follow to improve. We will also talk about daily habits you can use, how to think in English, and how to grow your confidence. So, if you want to speak English smoothly, naturally, and with confidence, stay with me until the end of this episode. This is going to be very practical, very simple, and very useful for you. All right, are you ready? Let's begin. So, before we learn how to become fluent, let's first understand this question. What does it mean to speak fluently? Many learners think fluency means speaking English perfectly, with no mistakes. But that is not true. Fluency is not about being perfect. Fluency means you can speak smoothly, you can speak naturally, and you can speak without long pauses or stopping too much. It's like water flowing in a river. The water keeps moving. Sometimes there are small rocks, but the water doesn't stop. In the same way, when you speak English fluently, your words keep moving. Even if you make small mistakes, you keep talking. Now let's talk about fluency versus accuracy. Fluency is how smoothly you speak. Accuracy is how correct your grammar and words are. Both are important, but in daily conversation, fluency is often more important. For example, if you say, "Yesterday I go to the park," the grammar is not correct, but people still understand you. That is fluency. If you stop for a long time thinking, yesterday, I, go, park. The grammar might be correct at the end, but it is not fluent. So, here's the key idea. Don't wait for perfect grammar to speak. Focus on speaking smoothly. When you practice fluency, you allow yourself to make mistakes, but you keep going. Later, with more practice, your accuracy will also improve. So remember this. Fluency is not about big, difficult words. Fluency is not about speaking fast. Fluency is about speaking clearly, smoothly, and with confidence. Now that we know what fluency really means, let's talk about the common problems learners face when trying to speak English. Now that we know what fluency means, let's look at the common problems that many English learners face when they try to speak. The first problem is this: thinking in your own language first. Many learners try to make a sentence in their native language, and then they translate it into English in their head. This takes time. That's why when you speak, you stop, you pause, or you feel slow. Fluency becomes very difficult if you always translate. The second problem is fear of mistakes. Many people feel shy, nervous, or even scared when they speak English. They worry, what if my grammar is wrong? What if people laugh at me? This fear makes you quiet. But remember, making mistakes is a natural part of learning. Even native speakers make mistakes sometimes. The third problem is lack of vocabulary. Sometimes you want to say something, but you don't know the right word. So you stop, you think, and then you lose your fluency. A small vocabulary can make speaking difficult. But the solution is not to learn thousands of new words. The solution is to learn the right words for daily life and practice using them. The fourth problem is not enough speaking practice. Many learners study grammar, read books, or watch videos, but they don't actually practice speaking. Remember this: speaking is a skill, not just knowledge. It's like learning to swim. You can read 100 books about swimming, but until you go into the water, you cannot swim. In the same way, you must practice speaking, not only studying. And the fifth problem is speaking too slowly or stopping too often. Sometimes learners are afraid of making mistakes, so they stop after every word. This makes conversation difficult. But if you keep speaking, even with small mistakes, people will understand you better. So, these are the common problems: thinking in your own language first, fear of mistakes, lack of vocabulary, not enough practice, speaking too slowly, or stopping too often. Do you have some of these problems? Don't worry, many learners do. And the good news is, all of these problems can be solved. In the next part, I will share with you the first step to building fluency: making daily speaking habits. All right, let's start with the first step to fluency: building daily speaking habits. Fluency is not something that happens in one day or one week. It is like growing a plant. You give it water every day, and slowly it grows. In the same way, if you speak a little English every day, your fluency will grow step by step. So, how can you make speaking English part of your daily life? Let me share some simple ideas. Number 1. Talk to yourself in English. This may sound funny, but it works very well. For example, when you wake up in the morning, you can say, "Good morning. Today I will take a shower, then eat breakfast, and then go to work." You don't need another person. You can practice anytime, anywhere. Number 2. Describe your daily routine in English. When you are cooking, say out loud what you are doing. Now I cut the onion. I put oil in the pan. I am making rice. When you are walking outside, describe what you see. I see children playing. The sun is bright today. This kind of practice helps you connect English with real life. Number 3. Practice shadowing. Shadowing means listening to a short audio in English and repeating it immediately, almost at the same time. You copy the speaker's speed, intonation, and pronunciation. For example, you can listen to a podcast, a short video, or even a song, and repeat what you hear. This helps you train your mouth and brain to speak smoothly. Number 4. Use short speaking challenges. For example, you can set a timer for 2 minutes. Try to talk non-stop in English for those 2 minutes about any topic: your day, your favorite food, or your plans for tomorrow. Don't worry about mistakes. The goal is to keep speaking without stopping. Number 5. Make English part of your lifestyle. If you have a friend who speaks English, talk to them for 5 minutes a day. If not, talk to yourself, record your voice, or even speak in front of a mirror. The most important thing is consistency. Every single day, even just 10 to 15 minutes, will help you more than one big study session once a week. So, remember this. Fluency is not built by big, difficult study. Fluency is built by small, daily habits. The more you use English in daily life, the more natural it will feel when you speak. In the next part, we will talk about Step 2, how to think in English, which is one of the biggest keys to fluency. Now let's move to the second step to fluency, learning to think in English. This is one of the biggest secrets of fluent speakers. Most learners have this problem. They think in their own language first, and then they try to translate into English. This makes speaking slow and difficult. So, how can you change this habit? Let me share some tips. First, start small. Don't try to think about big, complex ideas in English at the beginning. Start with simple things. For example, if you see a chair, just say in your mind, chair. If you are drinking water, think, I drink water. These small thoughts will train your brain to use English naturally. Second, use short phrases, not single words. Instead of only thinking apple, think, I like this apple, or this apple is sweet. Short sentences are more powerful because they help you prepare for real conversation. Third, describe your day in English inside your head. When you wake up, think, I am brushing my teeth. I am making tea. I am going to work. These are easy sentences, but they help your brain stop translating. Fourth, when you don't know a word, explain it in simple English. For example, maybe you don't know the word umbrella. You can say, something I use when it rains. This is thinking in English, even with a small vocabulary. And this is very good practice for fluency. Finally, practice short thinking breaks during your day. Maybe 5 minutes before bed, or while you wait for a bus, try to think only in English. Even silent practice will improve your fluency. So remember, fluency is not only about speaking, it starts in your mind. The more you think in English, the more natural your speaking will become. In the next part, we will talk about Step 3, how to grow your vocabulary for fluency. All right, let's move to the third step for speaking fluent English, growing your vocabulary. Now, many learners think, if I want to be fluent, I need to learn thousands of words. But that is not true. You don't need difficult academic words to speak fluently. You need the right words, the words that people use in daily life. First, focus on useful vocabulary. Learn the words and phrases that you can use every day. For example, greetings, daily activities, food, travel, work, and common questions. These are the words that will help you in real conversations. Second, learn word groups, not single words. For example, instead of only learning the word coffee, learn the phrase, a cup of coffee, or I'd like some coffee. These small word groups are more powerful because they are ready for speaking. Third, keep a vocabulary notebook. When you hear or read a new word, write it down. But don't just write the word. Write a short example sentence too. For example, word, delicious. Sentence, this pizza is delicious. When you learn vocabulary with sentences, it stays in your memory longer. Fourth, practice speaking the new words. It's not enough to just write them or read them. You must use them in your own speaking. For example, if you learn the word excited, you can say, I am excited about the weekend. The more you use new words, the faster they become part of your fluent English. Finally, review and recycle. Don't just learn a word one time. Review it again and again and try to use it in different situations. This way, your vocabulary becomes active, not passive. So remember, fluency is not about big, difficult words. Fluency is about using simple, common words quickly and naturally. In the next part, we will talk about Step 4, how to improve your pronunciation and listening, which are very important for fluency. Now, let's talk about the fourth step to fluency, improving your pronunciation and listening. Why are these two things important? Because when you listen better, you can copy the way native speakers talk. And when your pronunciation is clear, people can understand you more easily. Fluency is not only about words, it is also about sound. First, listen carefully to native speakers. Watch movies, listen to podcasts, or short videos. Pay attention to how they connect words, how they stress some parts of the sentence, and how their voice goes up and down. Second, practice shadowing. Shadowing means repeating exactly what you hear, almost at the same time. This is like training your mouth to move in the same way. It will make your speech smoother and more natural. Third, record your own voice. Yes, I know it feels strange, but it's very powerful. Record yourself reading or speaking. Then listen. Do you sound clear? Do you need to slow down? This will help you improve step by step. And here's an important point. You do not need a perfect accent. You don't need to sound American or British. You just need to be clear. If people understand you, that is success. So, work on your listening and pronunciation every day, even just for 5 minutes. It will help you feel more confident and fluent. Next, let's talk about Step 5. How to build confidence and overcome fear when speaking English. Now let's move to the fifth step for fluency. Building confidence and overcoming fear. For many learners, the biggest problem is not grammar or vocabulary. It is fear. Fear of mistakes. Fear of sounding silly. Fear of people judging them. This fear can stop you from speaking. But here is the truth. Making mistakes is normal. Every learner makes mistakes. Even native speakers make mistakes sometimes. The important thing is not perfection. The important thing is communication. First, change your mindset. When you make a mistake, don't feel bad. Instead, say to yourself, "Good, I am learning." Every mistake is a step forward. Second, practice speaking even when you feel nervous. The more you speak, the easier it becomes. Confidence grows like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Third, don't compare yourself to others. Everyone learns at a different speed. Focus on your own progress. Even small improvements are success. And finally, remember this. Fluency is not about speaking perfect English. Fluency is about speaking with courage, without stopping too much, and with a smile. So, be brave. Open your mouth. Say your words. Every time you speak, your confidence grows, and your fluency improves. In the next part, I will share with you a simple daily practice plan you can follow to improve your fluency step by step. All right, now let's put everything together. You might be asking, Henry, what should I actually do every day to become fluent? So let me give you a simple daily practice plan. You don't need hours of study. Just 15 to 20 minutes every day can make a big difference. Step 1. Listen for 5 minutes. Choose something short, a podcast, a video, or even a dialogue. Listen carefully to how people speak. Step 2. Shadow for 5 minutes. Play the same audio again and try to repeat after the speaker, almost at the same time. This will train your mouth and brain to work faster. Step 3. Self-talk for 5 minutes. Talk about your day, your plans, or your ideas in English. If you don't have a partner, just talk to yourself. You can also record your voice. Step 4. Review vocabulary for 2 to 3 minutes. Look at 2 or 3 words or phrases you learned before and use them in a short sentence. That's it. Very simple, very short, but very powerful. The key is not doing a lot one time. The key is doing a little every day. If you follow this daily plan, in a few weeks you will notice your English feels smoother, faster, and more natural. Next, let's talk about some final motivation and tips to keep your journey strong. Before we finish today's episode, I want to give you some motivation and final tips. First, remember this. Fluency is possible for everyone. It doesn't matter how old you are or how long you have been learning English. What matters is your daily effort and your belief in yourself. Second, don't be afraid of small mistakes. Every mistake is a step forward, a lesson, and a chance to improve. The more you speak, the more confident and fluent you become. Third, focus on small, consistent steps. Even 10 to 20 minutes every day is better than hours of study once a week. Fluency is built slowly and steadily, like water slowly shaping a river. And finally, enjoy the process. Have fun speaking English. Talk about your favorite topics. Laugh at your mistakes. Celebrate your progress. When learning is fun, fluency comes faster. So remember, speak every day. Think in English. Use simple words. And be confident. These are the keys to becoming fluent. Keep going and don't give up. You can do it. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of the English Learning Podcast. I hope you found these tips and steps useful for speaking fluent English. Remember, fluency comes with daily practice, confidence, and patience. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and share it with your friends who want to speak English better too. Keep practicing, keep speaking, and I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye for now.